Close your eyes just for a moment and imagine a world where we chose love instead of war. Imagine no bombs, just bridges of trust. No tanks, just tools to lift the dust. Imagine borders made of hands, not walls, and leaders who listen when a child calls. No flags waving proud above graves. No soldiers taught to be brave in caves. Imagine if wealth meant lifting the weak and strength meant giving, not how loud you speak. Imagine if we chose love over hate, over fear. If we held each other close instead of disappear. Imagine if we chose peace, not just in words but in way. Built a world worth living in for every soul, every day. Imagine schools in every slum, doctors reaching where aid don't come. Imagine justice not delayed, and no one dying just to get paid. Imagine if hearts were the measure of worth, and compassion ruled this earth. If the richest thing a man could be was kind, not just successful publicly. What if we stopped chasing control and started chasing connection? What if love wasn't weakness, but our greatest protection? Imagine if we chose love over pride, over pain. Gave our children skies without the sound of planes. Imagine if we chose peace, not as retreat, but as rise, to build a planet where all can live with open hearts and open eyes. It's not a fantasy, it's a choice, and it starts with us. Imagine if we chose love. You think it's about freedom, about peace, about justice? No, it's about profit. Always has been.
Who profits from war? Not the soldier who bled, not the mother who prayed, not the child who fled. It's the suits with stocks, the banks with bets, defense contracts, private jets, weapons tested like apps in a lab. Each missile sold is a billionaire's grab. Peace don't pay, death does more. Ask Lockheed Martin, they keep the score. Who profits from war? Follow the trail. Not the ones who die, but the ones who sell. Who profits from pain? It's all by design. They sell the conflict and sip on wine. Oil fields, gold mines, rare earth dust. They bomb, rebuild, all built on trust. NGOs frontin', lobbyists grinning. They make it look like peace, but they never stop winning. Media spins the fear machine while CEOs cash in clean. Politicians get paid to stay blind while nations collapse time after time.
The truth is buried under piles of contracts, blood-stained ledgers, and fake flags. But if you follow the money, you'll find the warlords wear suits.
Who profits from war? Not the poor, not the dead, not the ones on the floor. Who profits from war? It's the elite club. They sell chaos, then toast to the flood.
War is a business, and business is booming. The cost, millions of lives. The gain, a seat at a table that's never fed the people. peace is soft, but real peace takes more courage than war ever did.
Peace ain't weakness, it's discipline and fire. To hold your ground when the world fuels the pyre. It's turning rage into reason, fists into hands, standing tall without blood on your lands. War is easy, just push the button. Peace is pressure when your hands ain't cutting. Takes strength to forgive, more to rebuild, but they call it weak, cause it don't get billed.
Peace was never weak. It's the voice that speaks when bombs fall down and silence leaks. Peace was never weak. It's the spine of the brave, not the coward's cave, but the soul we save. The soul we save.
Try stopping a war without a gun. Try healing hate without a stun. That's not weakness, that's divine. It takes warriors of heart, not just weapon design. Peace builders never make the news, but they're the reason some kids still choose to dream, to live, to push past fear. Their strength is quiet, but it echoes clear. The world remembers the warriors, but forgets the peacemakers who saved millions without firing a single shot.
Peace was never weak. It's strength with soul, a silent shield that makes us whole. Peace was never weak. It's calm and storm, the louder truth in human form.
To lead with war is easy. To lead with peace, that strength the world still fears. But remember this, peace was never weak.
I don't know why the sky screams. I just wanted to play today. Why are the buildings broken, mama?
Kids don't drop bombs, they drop toys on floors. They don't invade lands, they open unlocked doors. They don't wear medals, they draw hearts in sand, but somehow they suffer from a grown man's hand. Cartoons on screens turn to smoke and fire. Dreams of school now buried in barbed wire. Childhood erased with a government seal, while leaders eat meals and call it deal.
Kids don't drop bombs, they just want peace. They don't plan wars, they just wanna be released. Kids don't drop bombs, they never choose pain, but they pay the price again and again. What crime did they commit? Being born on the wrong side of a line. You call it collateral, I call it a child whose only crime was running out of time. Backpacks filled with fear, not books. Tiny hands trembling in shattered nooks. And while bombs scream overhead in roars, the world debates behind conference doors.
Child, if I know I'm alive, do they even care?
If war is justice, then who speaks for the voiceless?
Kids don't drop bombs, they hold hope. They dream big while adults choke. Kids don't drop bombs, they cry in silence, while grown men fuel global violence. Kids don't drop bombs, a child never started a war, but they always suffer the end of it. Kids don't drop bombs, adults just drop responsibility.
Remember this, a child never started a war, but they always suffer the end. Kids don't drop bombs, adults just drop responsibility.
Class is in session. Today's lesson, priorities. Question 1. Why do we spend trillions on bombs, but toss pennies at schools?
They got tanks and fleets, but no books on the seats. Jet fighters and skies, but no lunch when a kid cries. Billions flow to blow things up, while classrooms beg for chalk and cups. Desk, broken, teachers drained, but defense deals fully sustained. Trillions for bombs, pennies for schools. That's how they play, while we play the fools. Kids get crumbs, while war gets gold. And we clap like it's brave, like the story's old. Trillions for bombs, pennies for mines. No wonder we lose whole generations to crime. Politicians say education is key, but spend on missiles more than a whole degree. Submarines cost more than 10,000 dreams, but your school got leaks and outdated screens. How do we raise a nation of hope when kids learn math from a torn up notebook? They fund war like it's a race, while our future's learning in disgrace. The strongest country isn't the one with the most bombs. It's the one where a child can dream without hunger, without fear, and with knowledge. Trillions for bombs, pennies for schools. This ain't leadership, it's breaking the rules. Classrooms cry while missiles roar, and they wonder why we rage no more. You can't drop a bomb to build a mind. You can't launch a missile to raise a child. So why do we fund death and starve life? Trillions for bombs, pennies for schools, and we still call them wise.
There's food in storage. There's money in banks. There's medicine shelved. But the people, they're still.
I see kids with ribs showing more than smiles. Mothers walking miles just to beg for trials. A meal a day, that's a fantasy scene, while leaders sit fat feeding war machines. You got billions for missiles, but none for meals. Funding jets that bomb, but ignore how hunger feels. Humanity is starving, not just for food, but for truth, for peace, for something good. Humanity is starving, not 'cause Earth can't feed, but 'cause power and greed ignore what we need. They drop aid like pity from planes in the sky, but build bases with pride where the hungry die. They televise war like it's primetime art, but hide starving kids from a broken heart. They cut healthcare, raise defense, then wonder why the world's so tense. It's not a lack of supply, it's a theft of soul. A system that feeds control, not the bowl.
Imagine a world where hunger ends before a war begins, where bread gets more budget than bombs, where aid isn't PR, it's priority.
Humanity is starving, not for land, not for fame, but for someone to break the chain. Humanity is starving, and the silence is loud. The rich feed on gold, while the poor eat clouds.
We don't need more weapons, we need more will, because
ever seen a gun heal a wound? You ever watched a bullet build a school? No, because guns don't heal, they only steal.
Click, click, boom, another life erased. But the stock price, it just got raised. War's a business, pain's a trade. And the gun lords, they all get paid. Politicians sign the check. Manufacturers cash the wreck. They don't see the mother cry, just numbers on a monthly deck. Guns don't heal, they tear and steal. No justice, no cure, just blood on steel. Guns don't heal, they silence truth. Leave kids in coffins and call it proof. Missiles fly while clinics die. Hospitals bombed, still know why. They build more tanks than teacher seats, then preach peace on elite retreats. News plays death like it's just a score, but behind that screen it's a human war. Kids with dreams shot through the chest, and no one guilty, just collateral mess. If weapons made us safe, why's the world still burning? If guns made us strong, why are we still mourning?
Guns don't heal, they kill what's real. Truth, love, life, all they do is steal.
They call it defense, we call it destruction. They call it power, we call it pain. Because no matter how shiny it looks, a gun never healed a damn thing.
Why wars? Why death? Why do we call it victory when the price is human breath? We build bombs faster than we build schools. We train soldiers faster than we train minds. We spend trillions on war machines while kids die from hunger, left behind. They say it's for peace, but I see graves, not growth. Loath. They say it's defense, but I see a fence wearing a diplomatic coat. What if, instead of dropping bombs, we dropped medicine? What if we launched satellites for education instead of missiles wrapped in sin? Prime ministers, kings, you had a chance to serve, not destroy, to uplift, not deploy, but you chose ego, you chose empire, and set the world on fire. Why wars? Why pain? Why do we kill when we all bleed the same? Why hate? Why fear? Why are the loudest voices never the ones who hear? Imagine if budgets for bombs became budgets for books.
isn't just a cry, it's a wake-up call. Because history isn't kind to those who watched humanity fall. So I ask again, why wars? Why wars?
You were chosen to lead, but you chose to lie. Behind every war, there's a man in a suit, signing death with a smile.
Leaders or liars, which one are you? Sending troops from your office with a skyline view. Champagne on tables while children flee. Your suit ain't clean, it's stitched with deceit. Elected for peace, you fund the flame. Every handshake hides a hunger for fame. Behind closed doors, y'all trade lies for gold. Calling it policy, but the truth been told. Leaders or liars, tell us now, who's pulling strings while cities drown? Leaders or liars, truth or fear? Do you sleep well while death draws near? You promise the people will rise, will shine, but the only thing rising is your weapon supply line. Campaigns kissed with hope and pride, but in your heart it's greed you hide. You wear the flag, but you sold the soul. Traded dreams for control. No more speeches, no more spin. You ain't a savior, you profit from sin.
If leadership means sacrifice, then why do you never bleed? If war is last resort, why is it your first need?
Leaders or liars, say it loud. Whose throne was built on a crying crowd? Leaders or liars, truth or shame? You wear a title, but what's your name?
History won't forget you, the graves won't forgive you. When it all falls down, the world will ask, were they leaders or just liars in masks?
The graves won't forgive you. When it all falls down, the world will ask, were they leaders or just liars in masks?